Good morning, everyone. It is 7 a.m. Tuesday, January 23rd, and this is going to be my pre-market analysis for the NASDAQ 100 for the day. So let's get right into it. I've got my screen share here. Again, this is my first time using my voice. So if I'm a little crackly, that's why. But I'm starting out here on the monthly. And on the monthly, we are very clearly in a bullish trend. We're making all-time highs. So that's crazy. But on the monthly, we are bullish. On the weekly, we are bullish. Yesterday, we just swept liquidity of this high from January of 2022, I believe that is. Pushing up on the daily, we are also in an obvious uptrend. And then down to the 4-hour, can you guess where we are? We are also in an uptrend. Yesterday, we had a retracement to the downside to sweep liquidity. There's lots of liquidity here with these fair value gaps and imbalances. Yesterday, we swept a few of the some liquidity on the 1 hour and the 15-minute, but on the 4-hour, although we are having a retracement right here, we are still technically in a trend to the upside. Now, I don't really use the monthly, daily, weekly, or 4-hour. I'm getting in the habit of using those time frames, those higher time frames. So as of right now, that's all I'm using it for, is to get a understanding of the trend on those higher time frames. But most of my work and analysis is based off of the 1 hour and the 15-minute for now. Again, I am wanting to utilize those higher time frames because it's just higher confluence. But for right now, my analysis is really based off of the 1 hour and the 15-minute, with entries being on at the 5-minute and occasionally the 1 minute. Okay, so on the 1 hour, I'm still bullish on the 1 hour. Yesterday, it swept these areas of liquidity right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark out this order block. It's really far down, but I'm going to mark it anyways. I highly doubt price is going to even touch it, but again, I like to mark it just so I can see where, if price were to pull in here, drop below here, then we would be in a confirmed downtrend. Now we have all of these areas of liquidity here. I'm actually going to drop down to the 15-minute so I can mark those areas of liquidity a little bit better. On the 15-minute, I am, again, going to mark those areas of liquidity. But first glance, I see, excuse me. Let me see. Gives me a better understanding of if we're in an uptrend, or I'm pretty, I would say so this area right here, price broke below this order block. That would be right here, making the 15-minute in a downtrend. I went ahead and marked the order block that led to this break of structure to the downside. To me, this looks like the M15 is bearish, and if price were to break above this order block, I would consider it bullish. If it continues to stay under this order block, I would consider it to to be in a bearish downtrend. I'm actually just going to delete this though and mark it with a line instead, just so it's a little bit cleaner. Change the color to blue so I know what that is. And then on the 15-minute, I also like to mark my pre-market area. Again, pre-market allows for me to get a better understanding of the type of setup that I'll be taking come market open. Pre-market, goodness, these yawns for me starts at 4 and goes to 8:15. Let's mark this doggy yellow. Okay, so first glance I see is that there are a few inefficiencies in pre-market. Well, they're being filled right now, actually. So disregard. There's only one that I see, which is right here. I was going to mark these two, but they're already being filled. Would you look at that? So first glance, it just, pre-market ends in 3 minutes. So I guess I can wait 3 minutes to see how this ends to get a better idea. Oh my God. These yawns are crazy. I don't know if you can hear me. Slipping and slurping. Okay. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes so I can give you a more solidified analysis. There is no news happening today. So nothing unexpected to occur. So we should be all Gucci. I swear if I yawn one more time, this is getting crazy. Okay, so as a recap, 1 hour, we are bullish. Lost my train of thought. I'm pretty bullish on the 1 hour. The 15-minute is in a downtrend, but honestly, anything can happen. If price at the open shoots up, sweeps pre-market liquidity, that would also be sweeping the high of day liquidity. It could even push up and sweep yesterday's. There's liquidity above these highs right here. I would honestly be looking for shorts if it gave me a opportunity to sell and the setup to sell, which for me that would look like price sweeping at least the pre-market liquidity, which is also high of day, potentially coming up here. And then I would be looking for the highest closing candle that does sweep liquidity. I'd be looking for price to close below that to form an order block. And then I would wait for price to pull back into that order block to retest it to then give me the signal. And from that, that's confluence for me to enter into a trade. But let's say price continues to sell down. There's a lot of different scenarios. If price continues to sell down, filling in this inefficiency right here, and pulls into this 15-minute order block here. Let's change this. then I would be, and it gave me kind of rejection price action from here. I'd be looking to take it back to the high of pre-market, potentially the high of yesterday, because there's liquidity up there. One more scenario, and one more scenario, and then I'll kind of dive into why there's can be multiple different ways of looking at things. If price completely sells down to the downside, closes below pre-market, closes below, the low of the day, I'd wait for price to pull back into an order block and then to continue to sell down. So with these pre-market analysis, sometimes there's just so many different variables, and there's two different ways to go about it. I could be looking, if price does one thing, it could give me validation to take a short. If price does another thing, it could give me the validation to go long. So you always have to be ready for either or. Also, with these pre-market analysis, I like to wait until after market opens to even enter in a trade, because I like to have more data collected, and I like for price to just marinate a little bit and to show me exactly what it wants to do. So again, I'm ready for either scenario to play out. And so that's what's going to happen. We still have about 15 minutes until the open. With that being said, I like to wait till open. I like to wait even like a few minutes after open, again, to get more data. Around 10 o'clock is where 10 o'clock Eastern, which is 8 o'clock for me, which is 30 minutes after the open. That's when I take a majority of my trades. Not to say I wait until that time, but for me, that's when I normally see a setup that I like to see to take. So that's what's going on here. And that's it. We'll see what happens. I'm going to record my live trade session as well. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and I'll see you in the live trade session. Bye.